Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Kapjana Vallabha Shivada Jaya Kapjana Vallabha Shivada Yasodhana Nana Bhajana Yasodhana Nana Bhajana Yamuna Kriya Vanata Yamuna Deva Vanata Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya I'm very happy to be with you here today, this the Halifax Sunday feast. And today I would like to share with you some wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. And we will discuss a verse from the 15th chapter, that the yoga of the Supreme Person, text 17. The last verses of the 15th chapter are called Trisloka Gita. Gita in 3 slokas, the essence. And we will discuss the second one, the essence of the essence, that of the three sloka. Text 17, those who have it on their phones can maybe repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Uttama Purusastvanya.
Uttama Purusastvanya.
Parametyudarita.
Parametyudarita.
Yolokatrayam avishya.
Yolokatrayam avishya.
Vibhaktavya Ishvara. Uttama Purusastvanya.
Uttama Purusastvanya.
Paramatma Udarya. Paramatmetyudarita. Yolokatrayam avishya. Vibhaktavya Ishvara. Uttama Purusastvanya. Paramatmetyudarita. Yolokatrayam avishya. Vibhaktavya Ishvara. If someone wants to repeat. Uttama Purusastvanya. Parametyudarita. Yolokatrayam avishya. Vibhaktavya Ishvara. Uttama Purusastvanya. Paramatmetyudarita. Yolokatrayam avishya. Vibhaktavya Ishvara.
Uttama Purusastvanya.
Uttama Purusastvanya. Paramatmetyudarita. Yolokatrayam avishya. Vibhaktavya Ishvara. Some of the ladies, maybe. Okay. Then we continue with the word-for-word translation. Uttama, the best. Purusha, personality. Tu, but. Anya, another. Paramatma, the Supreme Self. Iti, thus. Udarita, is said. Yaha, who, Loka, of the universe. Trayam, the three divisions. Avishya, entering. Vibhakti, is maintaining. Avyaya, inexhaustible. Ishvara, the Lord. Translation and purport by Abhayacharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Please repeat. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality. The Supreme Soul. The imperishable Lord Himself. Who has entered the three worlds. And is maintaining them. The commentary by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The idea of this verse is very nicely expressed in the Katha Upanishad 2.13 and Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.13. It is clearly stated there that above the innumerable living entities, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated, there is the Supreme Personality, who is Paramatma. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nitya Nityananam Setana Setananam. The purport is that amongst all living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is one Supreme Living Personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains them and gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand Him is eligible to attain perfect peace, not others. The verse again. Uttama purusastvanya paramatme tyudarita yelokatrayam avishya vibhaktafyaya ishvara. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Om Ajnanatim Andasya Jananjana Shanakaya Sakshvan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakalamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shigo Shiyuta Padakamalam Shigom Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Jagajatam Sakanaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Shahe Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandha Jatpate Gopesha Kopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripre Vancha Kalpta Visha Kripa Sindhvevisa Bhattanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravanya Pacharane Nirvashesha Sunyavadi Bhaskachai Desatarane Srila Prabhupada Ki. So, in the Bhagavad Gita here, Lord Krishna gives us a picture which is real, that Krishna discussed before the material world. He has explained before in Bhagavad Gita, the body is temporary, that also our so-called enjoyment in this world and the objects of enjoyment, they are impermanent. So that brings up the question, can we get eternal happiness? Can we get us that? There are many materialistic philosophies. The most prominent philosopher in the West was already there in ancient India, promoted by Sharvak Muni. Sharvak Muni, he said, enjoy as you can. If you have to borrow, steal, whatever, do, but make sure you enjoy. Enjoy as much as you can. That's also the philosophy of most people of today. But there are other philosophies who say, yes, it's a more sophisticated mental speculation. They say, yes, the world is unreal, and your enjoyment and your suffering is also an illusion. And so stop this pain and this pleasure. That's the goal of life. So this is what the Buddhists say, this is what the Jains say, this is what Sankaracharya say. But then there are others who reject this philosophy. So there are so many philosophies about what's real and what's unreal, but Krishna gives us here in Bhagavad Gita an alternative. He says, no, the body and this world are real, Krishna says. They are real. But the point is, but we cannot get eternal happiness in this world. That's an illusion. We cannot get it. So we can get, we can get eternal happiness, Krishna says, but not in this world. Not in this world. Not in this body. Not in this material world. So that's Krishna's solution. That he says the soul, the Atma, is eternal. So we should strive for happiness which is eternal. But the Atma, the soul, cannot get happiness of objects in this world or relations in this world or whatever. No, the Atma cannot get happiness from objects in this world, because these objects are temporary, and the objects in this world are not conscious. But the soul is eternal and conscious. So we need to free the Atma from the body and from the material world. Other philosophies say so also. But what makes us different? What makes Krishna's philosophy different here from all these other philosophies? That's mentioned in this verse. There is also the Supreme Atma, who is above. So Krishna in the previous verses explained about the living entities. In previous verses, 15:7, Krishna says, Mamaivam Sochi Velako Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All living entities are Atmas, and these Atmas are my part and parcels, eternal, separated part and parcels, eternal. And then in the previous verse, Krishna said, there are Atmas who are liberated and there are Atmas who are conditioned. And in this verse it says, but I'm above these two, because the Atma in the liberated state is under Krishna's spiritual energy, and the Atma in the conditioned state is under Krishna's material energy. But they are both under Krishna's energy. So the living entity is the Atma, and Srila Prabhupada explains that in a lecture. He says, on this verse, in the lecture, he says, the Atma is always conditioned. It's either conditioned by the spiritual energy or the material energy. But of course, if we are conditioned by the spiritual energy, much more freedom, and you get this eternal happiness. And but this supreme Atma, this Param Atma, Krishna, we cannot know by our mind and senses. That's not possible. Therefore, we must accept scripture. So the Lord is in a higher position than us. He's Param Uttama, because he's, and that's explained in this verse, is Ishvara. He's controlled. He's controlling everything. So he controls everybody. And this Param Atma, this Uttam Atma, is creating, is maintaining, and is destroying this material world. So the Supreme Lord enters the material world, but not like us, not like the Jiva. Atma in this world is called Jiva. We came here to enjoy, but Krishna did not come in this world to enjoy. He's Atmaram. But there is so you have the Atma, you have the Param Atma, and they are different. But there is a purpose in this difference, because there is a relationship we have heard, the Supreme Lord is the Ishvara, the controller. So that means the Atma is the controlled. So therefore, we should offer our respect to the Lord. Our position is we are the servant of the Lord. Service in this material world does not give us happiness. So, although we perform service to get happiness, but we don't get happiness from it. We work for our boss, we work for the money, not really for our boss, he wants the money. And that money does not give us happiness. But service to the Supreme Lord is different. Because it is our natural position, because we are subordinate, it's our natural position to serve. And if we serve Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with love. It's a relationship of love. And this relationship is called bhakti. And attaining this love, this relationship in love, is the goal of life. It's not going to Vaikuntha or the spiritual world. That's not the goal of life. The goal of life is attaining love of Godhead. Prema Pumartha Mohan, Lord Chaitanya said. That's the goal of life. And if we have attained this love, whether you are in the material world or the spiritual world, make no difference. There is no suffering anymore. Because you identify with the soul, not the body. We suffer because we misidentify with the body. So this is a solution Krishna proposes for all the problems we have in this material world. And that will get us out of this material world and out of this body, finally. So, in Bhagavad Gita, it has been explained before how we get under the influence of this spiritual energy and become liberated. It's explained in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. 9th chapter is the most essential. It's the heart of the Bhagavad Gita, this 9th chapter. When Srila Prabhupada was in France, a general of Srila Prabhupada met a general from the French army. And the general asked Prabhupada, I'm very busy. I have no time to read the whole Bhagavad Gita. Tell me what's the most important chapter. Which chapter should I read? Prabhupada said the 9th chapter. Because that's the essence. Because that's carefully protected by the other chapters. This is about devotional service. How to develop this love for Krishna. And one who has developed this love for Krishna is called a Mahatma. Mahatma. You have heard that great word, Mahatma, great soul. Mahatma does not refer to politicians or that kind. No. A Mahatma is defined by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. It says, Mahatmanastu mamparta devim pragatri ashvitaha. The Mahatma is one who takes shelter of the spiritual energy. So they know how to take shelter of the spiritual energy. So in the next verse, then 9:14, I think, it's explained how they take shelter. Satatam kirtayantamam yatanta shadrita vrita. Satatam, always. Kirtan. Kirtan means glorification of the Supreme Lord. Their mind is always absorbed in Krishna. So that's the way that Satatam Kirtyantamam Yatanta Sha Trita Vrita. With great determination they perform devotional service and engage in this kirtan. So that's the essence of bhakti, which is described at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhavamad bhakto macha imam namaskaro. Manmana, you think always of Krishna. That's connecting with Krishna. The purpose of yoga is to control the mind And controlling the mind means connecting it with Krishna. Always. Man mana, and then bhava mad bhaktur. Then your heart will become purified. You will always think of Krishna. And then you become Krishna's devotee. Krishna's devotee is one who always thinks of Krishna. And Majai. Then you worship Krishna. You do puja. You do kirtan. You offer your food to him. We take only Krishna prasad. And Mam Namaskar, we offer our respect. So that's how we connect with Krishna. Connecting our consciousness with Krishna. The soul is in the body. And our consciousness is now connected with this world, with this body and everything around, because we think ourselves part and parcels of this world, but that's wrong. We are part and parcels of Krishna. And the soul is a part of Krishna, and we are not a body. So, absorbing our consciousness, which comes from the soul, in Krishna, purifies the consciousness. And we become connected. And then, when our heart is purified, we develop a relationship with Krishna. The relationship is already there. We are all servants of Krishna. But what kind of servant will be, that will be revealed later. So Krishna said in the previous verse, there are those who are conditioned and those who are liberated. In the spiritual world, everyone is liberated, and unfortunately we are at the wrong place. We are in the material world, so we are conditioned. Conditioned means disconnected. Our consciousness is disconnected with Krishna. Instead of being connected with Krishna, it's connected with this world. Instead of being connected with Krishna, our consciousness is absorbed in sense gratification. Now, what is the difference between the consciousness of someone in this material world and someone in the spiritual world? In the material world, we put ourselves in the center, I and mine. And in the spiritual world, we put Krishna in the center. Our minds are connected with Krishna. Here they are absorbed in all the attachment and aversions of this world, which is all temporary. So, those who live in a relationship with Krishna, it's called Bhakti Ras. Bhakti Ras. It's an experience of spiritual mellows, a spiritual relationship, a very sweet relationship with Krishna, this Bhakti Ras. But now we have a taste for things in this world. What's the difference between this Bhakti Ras and the experience in this world? The happiness in this world. The happiness in Bhakti Ras is eternal. That never stops. But the happiness in this world is chanchala, flickering. You get it just for a moment. We eat a pizza, 20 minutes, and then it's gone. Enjoyment is finished. And yes, boga tyag in this world. Tyag is renunciation. Monday we go to work and we think, I wish it would be already Friday. Then Tuesday they think, yeah, okay, tomorrow we are halfway. Then it's Wednesday, they think, okay, one day more. And then Thursday they begin to think, oh, tomorrow Friday, that's good. And Friday they start to smile. And then the weekend is there. But it's going so quick. And up we are Monday again. So Bogat jaar. The jaar and renunciation 5 days and then a short enjoyment and it starts again. So that's the happiness in this world. It's mixed with suffering. You must work very hard. But this Bprs is eternal. So in the spiritual world, those who enter in the spiritual world, their diversion, their attention cannot be diverted from Krishna, even for a moment. They are under the spiritual energy. Here we are under the material energy. Krishna calls it the 3 modes of nature. The material energy. And this material energy brings you in illusion that you think you are this body. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this and that. Especially the mode of passion makes you work hard for giving enjoyment to these senses, to this body. But every moment this heart can stop beating, you are finished. The body is finished. Every moment that can take place. Nobody controls his beating. Every moment. Every moment you can be thrown out. So Krishna says, don't work for this body and these senses. And he says in Bhagavad Gita, one who lives for the pleasure of the senses lives for nothing, Krishna says. So that's material existence. Living for nothing. But life has a purpose. The purpose is to revive our relationship with Krishna and to get to this Bprs, continued happiness. Like that. And if we, like these Mahatmas, we do kirtan, Satatam always kirtan, like we do today, this kirtan and this puja, and hearing about Krishna, offering our food to Krishna, always busy with Krishna. Then our heart becomes purified. And when the heart is pure, then this love will develop. Then we will realize our position. In the spiritual world, so after the heart is pure, we realize we are a servant of Krishna. But then Krishna, because we are under the spiritual energy, he will reveal your spiritual identity. We are a servant of Krishna, but what kind of servant are we? And that's we see in the spiritual world. There are different kinds of servants. Those in Vaikuntha, and those in Krishna Loka, or Goloka Vrindavan. That's the highest part of the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. In Vaikuntha, without misery. There is no misery there. Eternal life, Vaikuntha. And they are all serving the Lord very nicely, but they are aware that He's God. But in Goloka Vrindavan, the situation is different. They develop a more intense love for Krishna. Krishna is God, and he likes to relate with his devotees, but He does not always want to be praised. Oh, you are God, so how can we serve you? No. Krishna is God, and sometimes he wants to be chastised by his devotees. So we are entering Kartik. We will hear about Damodar. Damodar means a child who is bound by ropes, because the child did something wrong. So Krishna liked to be chastised by Mother Yasoda, out of love. And that's a more intense love. So in Goloka Vrindavan, there everyone is constantly connected with Krishna in love. But due to Yoga Maya, the spiritual energy, they are completely unaware that he is God. And they don't believe in it that he is God. But they all love Krishna. Because that gives rise to more intense love. You are a servant, okay. But if you are a friend of someone, you are also the servant of your friend. It's included. If you are a mother of a father, you are also the servant of the child, but also the friend of the child. It's more intense. And conjugal love is the highest. So in conjugal love, you take care, man and husband, and also in parental love, also in friendship. So that's more intense. And Krishna wants this more intense love. And we see Krishna sometimes is born, or he appeared is Lila Shakti. You heard that word before, Lila Shakti? There's the energy, the spiritual energy, which governs Krishna's pastimes. And Krishna, in his pastimes, he thinks really that he's a coward boy, under influence of his own spiritual energy. It's inconceivable for us. But he wants to play his role really good. And therefore, but this Lila Shakti also influences his devotees. Like when the coward boys and Krishna go to the forest and they play, sometimes they split up in two groups. Some cowboy boys are in the group of Balaram and some are in the group of Krishna. And they have a play. And the agreement is that the party who wins the game, all these members of the party of the one who wins the game have the right to climb up on the shoulder of those who lost the game. So they can ride horse on the shoulder of the other for like 100 meters. And once Krishna lost the game. So, and then one of the devotees of Balaram's party come to Krishna and said, Krishna, you lost the game. I'm going to climb on your back. And Krishna said, no, I slipped up on a banana peel. And the other devotee, and the other cowboy said, a banana peel, where is this banana peel? And he makes his way on the back of Krishna, the right horse. That's quite intimate with Krishna. That who would climb on the back of the deity? We don't think about that. But Krishna likes this. And then you have Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj, when Krishna went to Mathura, then he promised to come back, but then he could not come back because Jarasandha and other inimical kings were going to attack Mathura. So he sent his devotee, Uddhav. And Uddhav saw when he came in Vrindavan that like they were suffering in separations of Krishna. When he met Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda was crying and with her eyes closed. And then Nanda Maharaj, he was, his head was down. And Uddhav was thinking, it seems they are suffering, but they are not really suffering. They are experiencing the highest bliss, ecstasy. They were on the spiritual platform. On the spiritual platform there is no suffering. This is an emotion of ecstasy, of love, but we cannot understand it because we don't have that experience in this world. But Uddhav was thinking, it's like they are suffering. Let me bring their suffering down, and I will tell Nanda Maharaj, because Nanda Maharaj thinks Krishna is my son. Because Gagamuni said before that, your son is like Narayan, he will protect you like Narayan, but for Nanda Maharaj, he noted it, even if your son does these extraordinary things, because he's empowered by Narayan, who works to him, still you should keep loving him like your son. So Uddhav started to say, Krishna is not really your son. He's a super soul in everyone's heart. He's the creator of this cosmos, the maintainer, the annihilator, and so on. That it's a super soul in everyone's heart. So it's not your son. And then Nanda Maharaj replied that, yes, Gagamuni has said he is empowered by Narayan, but he's not Narayan. Narayan is Satya Sankalpa. He speaks always the truth. But my Krishna is an expert in speaking lies. And my Krishna, if I ask him to bring my shoes, he brings my shoes on its head. And Narayan is become never angry. But if we don't feed our Krishna, then he becomes quickly very angry. And he's stealing butter. How can you be Narayan? So, Uddhav, you are younger than me. Forgive me, but that's a great mistake. And like the residents of Vrindavan, when Krishna lifted Govardhan, then after that they were thinking, Krishna is empowered by Narayan. It was Lord Vishnu working to him. But it's only by the mercy of Lord Vishnu and the blessings of the Brahmins that he could do that. So they never believed Krishna is God. They were fixed in their relationship with Krishna. And similarly, the gopis. The gopis, they were thinking, it's our lover. That each one of us, a coward boy, but they loved all Krishna. And that when Krishna left for Mathura, Akrura took him away. Then the gopis came together and said, yes, he left us. Another gopi said, yes, he left us. So why are we still speaking about him? Another gopi said, yes, let us forget about him. Another gopi said, yes, let us forget about him, how he so sweetly smiled. Another gopi said, yes, let us forget about him, how beautiful he is. Another gopi said, yes, let us forget about him, how he so nicely danced with us. And it went on like that. They could not stop speaking about Krishna. Their minds were always connected with Krishna. So that is this devotional service is the way to connect our mind with Krishna. And this devotional service is explained in Nectar of Devotion, how to practice it, and in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kirtayantama, always think of me through kirtan, glorifying, hearing about me. And Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita how to connect with him. Yat karos yat asnas yat yos dadas yat yat tapasyas kantya tat yosya mat arpanam. That goes from mat arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you give away, whatever charity you do it as mat arpanam, as an offering to me, whatever you do in your life, every moment. So to connect with Krishna and to develop this love from Krishna, we must learn how to be connected always. Not only during the Sunday feast. Always, whatever we do. And in the beginning that requires sadhana. Sadhana is the way to connect ourselves with Krishna. And this sadhana, most important, is chanting and hearing. Hearing. We have all these books about Krishna here. Reading these books are based on Krishna's words. If we read these books, then our mind becomes connected with Krishna. If we chant, we become connected with Krishna. If we do puja, become connected with Krishna. If we cook for Krishna, we become connected with Krishna. If we offer our food to Krishna, we become connected with Krishna. If we do our job and we promise Krishna, I will use the money for you, then we work for Krishna. If we raise children and we promise Krishna, we raise these children to educate them as devotees of Krishna, then raising your children will connect connect you with Krishna. Making connection, connecting our mind and our heart with Krishna every moment. Now our heart disease is that it's connected with this world and it's a cause of suffering. That's what it is. But if we connect with Krishna by engaging our nature, what we do in this world, we have to change our motive. Just do it for Krishna. There are a few things we can not do for Krishna. These are called sinful activities that we have to give up. But I'm sure you are all pious. You are mostly giving them up. It's not a big thing. But concentrate on the positive engagement. This. And then our consciousness will change. If we become Krishna consciousness always, this world will become for us as good as Vaikuntha. So that's the goal of life. Whether you are in this world or in the spiritual world, you are in hell, it doesn't make out for a devotee. He's always happy and satisfied because he's connected with Krishna. And if we are always connected with Krishna, the heart is purified. We will identify with the Atma, not with the body. Because it is because we are identifying with the body that we suffer. Because the body, everything will go wrong in due course of time with the body. That's for sure. Thank you very much. Any question? Yes, please.
Thanks much for this wonderful realization. So, I have one question about the service attitude. So, for example, you give a wonderful example of Vishnu Loka, Goloka. And in Vishnu Loka, normally it's like the servant attitude, and in Goloka, we have different vows. And you also related with like Brajavila, where Krishna's friend and gopis and all they were having like good pastime with the Krishna. And one thing is that they didn't know about Krishna as God in that Leela. So they had like Madhurya Bhav with the Krishna without knowing Krishna as a God. But I have one question that in real life, actually we know Krishna as Bhagavan. And whatever service, like daily service we do, or any other service, we try to make no any offense. So sometimes I feel that I'm going towards like little kind of service attitude, like servant vow with Krishna. So is there something to add to get that Madhurya vow?
No. Krishna consciousness is a process. It's a process from Shraddha to Prema. And the first 4 stages is Shraddha, you have some faith, and then Sadhu Sangha, you associate with pure devotees and take initiation, follow their advice.